Right, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the session. I need 2 to 3 confirmations. You can see my screen and you can hear me well. Brilliant, thank you. Fantastic. Thank you all to confirm audio and video is good. Firstly, a few things. Apologies, I couldn't actually be able to give you much of an update on Wednesday. I have been actually traveling a lot lately, especially the last whole week I've been traveling. I've moved to Dubai for a few months. So because of that, I was not able to give any more updates that I was planning to give actually for FOMC and CPI. But I really hope you guys have actually managed to get as much as you could. So from next week onwards, we'll be coming back to our normal routine, and I'll be in front of my desk as well. And also by then, the market cycle would actually finish. I'll explain to you a little bit more about my market cycle this week. Many of you must be wondering, what is the market cycle? Now, firstly, those of you who don't know about the market cycle, you would face few days where you would see that all the trades, all the structures, all the fundamentals are going to align in the favor of your trade, but then the market will start to mess around. Okay, that's pretty normal. It happens. I wouldn't say once a year. I wouldn't say twice a year. It is a mixture. It's a combination of fundamentals, geopolitics, and also a lot of macroeconomical factors, especially the pestle factors. Okay. Now, the pestle factors, those of you who doesn't know, I'll just summarize that. It's a political, economic, social, and technological. All of them factors, when you combine them together, they force the cycle change in the Forex market. Okay. Now, you would see that where the Forex market cycle is, starting from. And I've been saying that to you last week as well. We still have this week as well. You might be able to see market messing around, misbehaving a little. But what you need to do is just get your profit, get out. Okay. Because market is going to be playing around this week as well. And I'll explain that to you for how long this and how this starts. Okay. For this cycle in particular, you would see that when the market is about to change the cycle, what they do is they do this sort of a structure. I always say that it's an increase of interest rates, stability in the interest rates, and then the pivot starting. Now, this bit here, that is the very critical point. Okay, that is the shift where the market is about to go for the rate cuts. We already have seen the rate cuts have started for 2 of the major banks. Shortly, I'll explain that to you in the fundamentals as well. That those banks, since they have started doing that, the market cycle started to trigger. Okay, and when will this finish? Because in this month, this week is the last week where you would see the interest rate decisions come in. Okay, so once we go to the fundamentals, you would see that all of these banks have pretty much said what they wanted to say in this month about their interest rates. Some of them, they have already reduced the interest rate. For instance, Euro last week have done that the week before. And then prior to that, also we have, BOC as well doing the same thing here. Okay. Now, once this week we are gone past SNB, which is Swiss Bank, GBP BOE, which is the second one, and the third one will be Oz. Then we will be ready for the structural change of the market cycle, because then we'll be going past that change and then market will start to stabilize. Okay, this is pretty normal, and I did say that to you on Wednesday as well. It happens every time market does that. So for instance, if market were to actually go back again, let me go to the black screen so you can see what I'm actually drawing. So for instance, if you see that the market started to pivot and all the banks will start to do that, next time when the unemployment rate will come up, next time when the CPI will start to crop up, next time when they will start to go for increase of interest rate, you're going to see that here the next cycle will start to trigger, and then you will go to the phase of that change for the next 2 to 3 weeks. Okay, this is pretty normal. As I've said, this you would anticipate in the market, regardless of whatever the system you use, regardless of whatever the support resistance, wave theory, etc., whatever the system or the concept you use, market will start to give you some confusion. Okay, that is pretty normal. If you do not accept that, then you're going to actually keep losing money, because then what you're going to do, you're going to question your system. And the only thing that I'm telling you now, you would only be able to know this if you have done the extensive back testing into the system. Okay, and that's why I always say to all of you, please make sure whenever we say something, you don't just believe on us, you just go and research on that as well, because then it will give you more confidence. Okay, we have done our research anyway. That's why I'm able to tell you all of this, that why the market cycle is changing. And I've just explained it to you. After this week, that will be basically ready for the change. Okay, we are in the phase of changing the cycle in the market. And whenever that happens, the bottom line is market gets messier. Okay, now, every time market is going to give us that, what we are expecting, but we need to know what we are trading in the market, what time is in the market good to hold, what time in the market is not really good to hold. When you understand these bits, you might be an exceptionally good trader, but if you don't know when to trade, your skill set will actually mean nothing to the market, because your consistency will not come until you understand these bits, what I'm just explaining. Okay. That's why you need to make sure you keep being updated by your community where you are trading. So please make sure you keep doing that. Keep being a part of our community and keep being a part of any community. I don't care about our community or any community, as long as you are being, being with the like-minded people. That's what matters. Okay. Even then, you can see, as I've mentioned earlier, you need consistency. And why do you need that? Because you need to make sure that you win. There are so many people who have actually passed last week as well. I just wanted to, without wasting too much time, I just wanted to in particular talk about this, one of our traders update. As you can see here, he have lost many challenges in the past, but he never gave up. That's why I wanted to congratulate you, update, that you have been doing that. And that's the determination you would see that will pay you off. Okay. Because remember, if trading was that easy, everybody would become a trader, because there is a zero physical hard work that you're doing to make money. Okay. There are people in the world that probably would need to make, 10K profit, in a week or in a month. They need a lot of hard work. Okay. I'm not saying that everybody, can do that. What I'm saying is, in order to make that sort of money, you have to have a determination. You have to be with the like-minded people. And when you do that, the results will come up. Okay. So please make sure you keep learning. And this is not a phase where you actually just 1 week you are making money. The next week you have to make money. The third week you have to consistently make money. It doesn't work like that. The last whole week I was waiting for the trade setup. I couldn't find a strat setup in the last whole week. Just one trade setup. I took dollar chief when the market was starting to go to the upside slowly. I took it out because, again, like I said to you, it's not the trade that we wanted to see. Like the way the momentum was not there. So what's the point of wasting your time? Okay, because then what you do, you start to revenge trade. That's not good. Secondly, as I've mentioned earlier, try and get out of your, not being a B or C book trader. This is one of the examples here. Hisham is just posted. I just saw this message. So it's just something for you guys to understand. He's asking for somebody to actually, recommend him a broker from our community, because his broker has started to ask him too many questions. Why? Because he started to make serious money now. Okay. As you can see here. Why? Because now they have no choice but to push him towards the A book. And that A book trader is the loss-making trader for the broker. So please try and understand that you need to be with the winners. In order to become a A book trader, you need to consistently make profit. And when you make profit, the other party is your broker who loses the money. And when they start to lose money, they make your life difficult. Okay. And I'm not saying that this particular broker is just deliberately doing that. It's all the brokers, not only just this broker. Now, that part, I've just explained it to you. Please make sure, if you are not one of our traders, which means you are not really having access to our community, you don't have access to our masterclass course, you don't know what strategies we are using to actually trade that, then there won't be any point. For example, in this month here, this is a trade of the month. As you can see here, what we were expecting is the drop and the push to the upside. What market has done already, it has already pushed to the upside after a drop here. You can see that market dropped, pushed to the upside again. It's not going to be, of course, as spot on that you would expect. Okay, so it has dropped from here and then pushed to the upside. Instead of tapping this level here, it just barely tapped that and then break to the downside. Why? Because it's the month of June. We started the market cycle. Eventually, it will tap that, but you would see that in this month, most of the targets, most of the levels that we are expecting market to tap, they might be shy of that breakdown just so they can take everybody out. Okay, it's pretty normal. Now let's get back to the fundamentals, see what we have for the fundamentals. This week, we are expecting the major news. We have Aussie interest rate, we have BOE interest rate, and we have S&B interest rate. All three major news would give a decent volatility in the market in this week. So please make sure you follow up on all of these updates, what we are actually posting either on the daily or either on Wednesdays and Sundays. These are all for you, and you need to keep up with it. Bear that in mind, keeping that very strong opinion on that your target for this week would be when you're in profit, regardless of whatever the targets we have given it to you, when you're profit, take the profit, secure your trade. Okay, they might not go exactly to the target just for this week I'm talking about. And last week I said the same thing. Just for this week, after this week, we will be back to normal for the normal structures. Okay, so as soon as in profit, partial profits, or close your trade, making sure to secure your trade. That is the aim for it for this week. Now, Monday, Empire State Index, we are expecting it to go down again. Well, it's a negative 12.5, which means they're expecting this number to get better. It might be the case, but short term, I'm expecting dollar to get slightly weaker in this week. Once I go to the structure, I'll explain that to you. There are so many factors that are, affecting dollar at the moment. For instance, the major one at the moment is a petrodollar in this week. I'm not sure if you guys have actually, if you have been following up on that. There is a treaty and there is also a contract. There is a 50 years to an 80 years contract that Saudi Arabia does with, with these sort of a major contracts. This was a last 50 years contract, which got expired in this month, last week. And now Saudi Arabia is pretty much ready to go anywhere and can simply just suspend this contract of petrodollar. Now, again, these are speculations at the moment that Saudi Arabia is going to become a part of the BRICS. Those of you who doesn't know what is BRICS, please make sure you go and research on that, because I've actually given a lot of details on the BRICS. It's BRICS. These are the first initials of the country names. And more people are actually joining them. Their sole aim is to bring up another economy which could actually go against dollar. Now, again, it's not just the sole purpose, it's one of the major primary goal for the BRICS. Now, if Saudi Arabia will join BRICS, and there are speculations, the new currency that they are actually all going to launch very soon would be backed by gold, then you are going to see a lot of people, a lot of countries who have been sanctioned by US at the moment would go and start to use that currency. And once they have done that, and on top of that, if the petrodollar bond will break, then you are going to see a lot of damage to the US economy. Okay, we have been seeing that even last week. If Feds would have actually given us dovish comment about the new cuts come in very soon, then you would have seen that dollar would have become a lot weaker. Okay, and they know that, because if you look at the last week's budget figure here, look at that federal budget balance. Their forecast was negative 279.6 billion. The actual was negative 347.1 billion. That is a massive fluctuation. Okay, that is not really something that you would expect. they have a huge debt at the moment. Okay. And that debt, they actually keep on pushing it under the carpet. And if the break of the petrodollar comes into place, you're going to see a lot of weakness in dollar. Okay. So keep that in your mind, because again, the new currency that they're actually introducing, that will be merely backed by gold. Again, back in the days, it used to be like that prior to 1971. After 1971, that has changed, and that became the petrodollar, and the dollar became the reserve currency of the world. Now, this could change with the petrodollar. This could change with the BRICS being in place. This could change with the new payment system that they probably would actually use in order to get out of those sanctions. Okay. Remember, whenever there are new sanctions takes place on any of the countries, it is damaging not only that country, but also the transactional volume of the dollar. So for instance, the Russian ruble has actually taken advantage. The transaction volume has tripled. Now, past 5 years, you would see that they would be trading 70% of their transactions in US dollar. Now it has gone down to 20% only. Okay. So this is telling you a story at the moment. It's a both-way street. If the sanctions are taking place on any country, it's not only just that country suffering, it's the dollar suffering as well. Okay. So please keep that in your mind, that that's where we are heading at the moment. So the next time you're going to see that, eventually it is always going to be the case as well. You have seen the Credit Suisse. No one would actually assume that a fund like Credit Suisse would actually go bankrupt overnight if UBS wouldn't have actually taken a step forward and given the hand. We would have actually seen a lot worse. But many people have lost their jobs. But you would not imagine Credit Suisse type sort of, firms going bankrupt overnight, because that's exactly what they've been doing as well. They've been pushing it under the carpet. Okay. And that's what I'm telling you, all these background things, because again, they might not directly impact your trading, but if you have them at the back of your head, one news, one something that would actually going to impact it would actually altogether bring up everything what they have been pushing under the carpet. Okay. So keep that in your mind. And again, if you're thinking that the war ceasefire is coming up, between Israel and Hamas, I don't see that happening. This is my personal research. Again, you would see that it will keep on going. And looking at the gold being cheap anytime soon, I don't see that in the picture. Okay, that's my intake. But again, once we go to the charts, we'll explain that to you further. Again, let's have a look at the next Tuesday. We are expecting Aussie interest rate. Again, they are expecting the rate to stay the same at 4.35%. We might be seeing the same thing here. But once we go to the chart, I'll explain that to you. I do see that Aussie started to make a messy structure. It might actually give you some more downside just for a short term. But if they reduce the interest rate, surprisingly, you're expecting a weakness in Oz. Then on Tuesday, we have CPI for GBP. Again, they're expecting this number to drop. Even then, they are still expecting the interest rate to stay the same, which is 5.25%. Again, we have elections coming up in July. It is always against the government, existing government, when we have rate cuts happening, especially with the government going to election. Even though all of us knows that will be a change of government, but still they don't want to leave that as interest rate falling at the same time the new government coming, at the same time the GDP is staying at 0%. Again, when something is staying at 0%, that tells you a story. It is a break even. Anything that they're selling, anything they are buying, they're making zero profit. Okay. So that's not really a great picture for existing government to go into the election with. Now, again, this is what we would expect in this week. If the market wants to drop further, which again, as I've mentioned it to you previously as well, we are getting ready for a push to the upside, but it still has some smaller, push to the downside left in it. Then on Thursday, we are expecting GDP quarter on quarter for the New Zealand dollar as well. They are expecting this number to go up a bit, which again might actually be the case because I'm bullish on New Zealand. I'm just waiting for the last push to the downside so we can look for buy setups in this, because this push to the upside would actually be a very decent one. Then on Thursday, we are expecting S&B rate policy. Again, there is no forecast in there. There's a strong possibility of them actually reducing the interest rate here, okay? Because the ECB has done that last week, and usually S&B follows them. So you would expect this to be actually going down probably by 25 basis points. If that would be the case, you would expect before the S&B policy rate, chief to get stronger, and with this news, chief to get weaker. And that would align with the structure as well. But because after Friday, you would be actually expecting the market to get back to normal. GBP, after that, we're expecting again, as you can see here, they are not expecting the rate cut at the moment. Most likely, we are going to see some rate cuts happening from July onwards for these major banks. Unemployment claim is also expected on Thursday for the US. Again, they can see the less number of unemployment claims compared to the last time. Even then, we could see some more short-term bullishness in this one. I'll explain that to you in the structure once we go to the structure so you can actually have a decent idea, but you will have my update anyway prior to this news. Then on Friday, we'll conclude with the services PMI and manufacturing PMI for most of the European markets and also for the US market as well, okay? Let's see what we have for the charts. Before we get to the charts, let me just quickly read your message. I can see a lot of messages. Steve, hello T. Hi Steve. Hi Riyadh. Hi Handy Bill. Thank you very much, all of you, to confirm to me for the video and audio. Thank you, Darko. Morning all from the trip to Croatia. All done. Okay. Hope you're enjoying Sunday. Francisco, good day. Everything is clear. Fantastic. In gold, are we still looking for a buy from 2275 level or sell from the level above that high? We'll touch base on that. You'll have a pretty decent idea what we are looking for. This year, can gold go to 2000 or below before the seasonality kicks in during the November, December? It's a bit different with the gold this year because this year, gold is going through a lot of, political factors, okay? There are war going on. We have a lot of tensions last week. Even you have seen that we had a peace summit. We had a G7 meeting. We had, the nuclear missile ships actually from Russia and from US coming to the shores of Cuba. So these are things like, you are pretty much, seeing in the last week, and that all of these are actually impacting gold. So gold at the moment would not just only be following the seasonality, it is actually following up with a lot of stability and instability factors as well around the world. If on high T core, CPI, PPI, weekly employment numbers, consumer sentiment all came against the DXY. Still, DXY went up last week. Why is this? Very good question. Can you please explain it? Is this still because Powell said only one rate cut this year? Not necessarily. Like I said to you, I did say that to you on Wednesday, guys, we are expecting dollar being bullish, right? What market has done, they have actually dropped it with the CPI and then push it back with the FOMC. And what you said, Irfan, is pretty spot on. What you would expect from all of this would be a bullishness for the, for a dollar, okay? A weakness for the dollar, sorry. But as I've mentioned, we are having a market cycle change. It's not going to be exactly what you're expecting at this phase. After this phase, everything goes back to normal. That is why I always say to you, whenever we are saying to you something about market doing abnormality or messy structures, it is always going to be because of something, okay? And that is something is a market cycle change, which I have explained it to you at the start of this session. Hopefully you must have got the answer already, but I'm just still trying to, remind you which part is referring to your answer. Do you see a trend reversal in the Euro, Oz, New Zealand, and GBP and Aussie, New Zealand pairs? Not at the moment, but soon we will be. Can people turn their cameras off, please? Yes, Demo, thank you for reminding them all. Chow, yes, Professor, completely agree with you saying the amount of hard work and effort we invest is not easily apprehended by anybody, even the ones closest to us. That is why the journey is lonely. Indeed it is. I promise you that You would need people like who are traders. Even if you're going through some sort of a drawdown, even if you are having a bad week, not even your partner would understand that what you're going through, but the trader that you're trading in the trading room. Okay. That's why it's critical for you all to understand the importance of being with the community. What do you think this guy, this Abdi, which I've just shown you earlier, is doing here? What he's trying to do is he's just basically trying to make sure, let me go up. He's just trying to make sure that everybody understands that he tried 20 times, but never ever said no. Why? Because he had a community to push him up. Okay. And he had his determination. That's what you need to do. Okay. And without that, there's no way you can make money in this business. I'm telling you that. They said on Fed's press conference that they will continue selling their asset, probably in the bond, so they keep interest rate but decrease asset further. Again, if they keep on doing that, it is something that they're trying to tell you that they will keep on selling the bonds to actually pay off the debts, the pay off the expenses. So it's like this, your business is going down, you cannot afford the expenses. So what you would do is you would actually start selling your house stuff, your house chairs, your sofas, your beds. That is what pretty much they are trying to tell you, okay, in a layman term. Um, Cheryl, would that cause stock markets to drop? Indeed, it will. Again, Cheryl, at the moment, yes, short term, we are still seeing upside, but you're going to see that once the greed index would keep on pushing towards the extreme greed, which is again very close to that, you're going to see that they will start to crumble. Hi, T, could you please give us your take on New Zealand, since you're bullish on that, how that would affect Euro New Zealand or the New Zealand alternatives? As I see New Zealand to be bullish, appreciate your input. Yes, Mo, we will do that shortly. Adrian, hi, do you think all the yen will continue bullish until next BOJ rate policy in July? We'll touch base on that. I do not think they will be keep on being bullish until July, but short term, if you ask me, they still do have some more upside. Hello, Mr. T. Can you please read the big picture for TASI? Could you be aligned with the petrodollar future? Please remind me, BGD, once we go to the requested list, we will do that. Can you please comment on the yearly, monthly, and the weekly trades? I just joined the meeting. Bellor, please voice the recording if you have missed it, because again, I have actually gone through in detail. I've spent at least 30 minutes on them, because remember, I anticipate all of you to actually, at least go through once or twice. So, what I'm actually talking about in these meetings. I always say that I always give you subtle clues what needs to be seen. Again, we are not a signal service. If you're here to just get the signals for the trades of the week or the month, I'm telling you, this is not for you, okay? Because we are here to make sure you make money consistently. You rely on this income. It's not just something that you got lucky, you made money, and then thank you very much. It does not work like that. We want to make sure you keep staying with us and you keep making money with us. That is the sole purpose of these live sessions. Otherwise, I don't need to actually come here every single week, twice, to actually give you the update. I can simply just paste and post the trades of the week for you and done deal. Okay? Because the whole purpose is for you to make money consistently and to learn from that so you can become an independent trader. So tomorrow, if somebody asks you, how did you make money? You would not be blinded and you would not actually be lost. I just bought it because I felt like buying, or somebody else gave me this signal. You would know what structure you are trading. Okay. That's the whole idea of it. Let's get back to the charts. All your rest of the questions, I'll get back to them shortly after I go through these lists. Let me just hide that one so we can actually focus on the chart. Now, again, as you can see here, last week we were expecting market to give us some bullishness in the dollar. Market did do that. Now, this week, as soon as market opens tonight, we will start to look for our bullishness in this pair, euro dollar. So again, what we are expecting is corrective structure here, push to the upside, at least from the here, at least 100 pips. I'm expecting this to push to the upside. Best case scenario, it could actually go for 150 and even breaking this top as well. But again, breaking this top is a bit of a long shot in this structure. But let's focus on the upside for now. Corrective structure and push to the upside. Again, in this particular corrective structure here, there is a potential for the market to actually push to the upside, something similar like this here, okay, here. And then we can actually see if market gives us this, then further upside. Otherwise, it will start to break down from somewhere around here, 80. Pound dollar also has tapped the top again once more, came right back down. As you know that last week, I did say that to you. It is going to come down to break this bottom, this bottom, this bottom, and this bottom as well, okay? The last bottom that is left potentially could be this. But again, if market breaks this, then only look for a buy. Otherwise, it's a sell for now, okay? Again, short term, I'm just telling you, if you want to scalp it, look for a push to the upside first. It's probably going to give you at least a decent 70 to 90 pips. And once market has done that, then it can break down once more, tapping, just barely breaking this bottom. Then it will be ready to push up, okay? But until then, I'll be very careful with my long-term buys. So short-term, get in, take profit, get out first. If market goes slowly, wait. Or if you want to sell it quickly. Once market has taken this bottom, get out again, and then start to look for your buy setups below this level. Gold has done that, what we are expecting. Again, we expected market to break down, push right back up towards this zone. If you remember, 2335 to 340. That is the zone where market needed to give us a reaction. It did do that. It dropped, and then the way market has dropped and came back up here, it is showing me there are some more buyers in the market. It's not ready to drop further. So what we are expecting at the moment, potentially, this is the structure that we have at the moment, okay? And the market can start to go to the upside from here itself to where the next level is going to be just close to this here. Remember, our traders, they can test the order block of this pair here, okay? Once market has done that and gone above and corrective structure, then we will be heading for break of this top. Otherwise, we'll see that for now, it's a correction and a push to the upside, what I can see. DXY has actually given this 104.5 below, pushed up towards 105.5. Now this week, remember, this structure has some potential for a drop here. Now that drop could easily become sort of a corrective structure. It could be something like this, even a sharp drop to the downside, and then it can sharply go to the upside. So let's focus on this part first. Once market has given us this part, we'll see if market is ready to go to the upside. By then you'll have my update anyway. But for now, first part of the week, we expect it to go to the downside. It might even test the top, but it won't stay that long. It barely will tap that, making sure those people who have been buying and selling from here, they will be actually taking them out. They must have already taken them out. But if anybody is still holding with a slightly bigger stop loss, they might try to take them out, then break down, okay? Aussie dollar also has come back down, tested these two bottoms, went back up, came back down here. Again, as you can see here, if you would have actually sold it here or bought it here, doesn't matter. Market has been actually going up, and down. That is why I asked you, please make sure you take some profits as soon as you're in profit, okay? Otherwise, market will keep doing. Even this week, it will be the same, okay? But after this week, we are getting back to the normal, where you see something like this happening or this happening. So again, this week, as I've said, pullback is what we are expecting in the early part of the week. And then by then, if market has already given us this consolidation and market has completed the structure that I've just drew for you, and you have this cash rate, and if they want to drop it, they will reduce the interest rate here, and then you will have one more break come in, which will complete this being a structure in the middle, and then the market will complete this being a structure in the middle, with this being pushed to the upside, not this week, potentially after Thursday, and then leading up to the next week. Dollar Chief is going to get messier. Remember, the box that I have here, it will get filled, but this structure, the way market is moving here, it is telling me that this is not ready yet, which means this wave to the downside probably will go to the extension, okay? What sort of extension? Something like this, coming back up here, and then it's going to break down once more, making some sort of a structure like this, completing a messy structure like this, and then coming back to test this bottom here, this level here, 88. But again, if you are still holding this buy here, make sure you get out, even though I know that it's going to go back up after this to test this event top. But it's not, let's not waste time on this because this structure is getting messier. Okay. This still has a potential for even going for some sort of a bigger structure for one more break, 5-way structure before market goes back up. But remember, this is a very strong possibility now in this. US oil. US oil was expected to go and tap 80, 79, somewhere in the middle here, which is what market has done. Again, it might tap that, come right back down here. This is a scalping trade this week. If you want to trade it, you go for it. Again, this is not a trade of the week. By the way, those of you who might actually be figuring it out, from my wording, it's not the trade of the week. But if you want to scalp it this week, you can certainly do that. In this zone, when the market will come, you look for a sell. In this zone, when the market will come, you look for a buy. Okay, that will be the zones for a short-term trade if in this week, if you want to do that. But from these levels here, you should be looking for a push to the upside because I'm seeing market actually making some sort of a messy structure here for a push to the upside. Dollar CAD also has broken down and pushed right back up again. Now this push to the upside would need some more time. In this structure, there's a possibility like this sort of a structure here. It might crawl to the upside, broke to the downside here, break to the downside, and then push right back up after. This is one of the possibilities. Again, it doesn't need to come to break this bottom here. All it needs to do is just consolidate, break down once more to complete this messy, even contraction for a push to the upside. Okay, the push to the upside for me, if I were to look for a buy in this, I need to wait for the market to come in this zone here. Okay, 37 below. Then only if market gives me a buy setup, I might actually take a risk to go for a push to the upside to test this top once more. Dollar yen, as you remember, on Wednesday, I explained it to you specifically on this, that if market wants to go to the downside, it will test this top here. Okay. If it does not test the top before BOJ, then it's going to go and test the top with BOJ. Okay. So market has done the latter one. So what market has done here is a consolidation. Before this consolidation, something like this, push to the upside. Okay. Tested this top. Now, what happened here? Market has changed the structure slightly. What does that mean? It's going to give you a consolidation here in this week, potentially testing in the middle of this 156, 500 to 156. And then after that, it's going to push right back up to test 159. Okay. Now, both of these things can happen in this week. But for me, if I'm to look for any trade in this week, short term, it's this. Medium term, it's this. But it will be giving us these two levels within the probably towards the end of this month. Before the end of this month, we probably would be finishing that. Okay. But that's the two levels, where to go for a buy and where to go for a sell setups. Now, BTC has completed what we were after. Anytime market can start to push up. That is the structure, clear structure for all of you. Okay. And market breaking this top confirms you that this is going up. Okay. And that's what you need to understand. Even if it breaks down once more, taking this bottom, it will not change anything. As I've mentioned to you earlier as well, it will just barely clear this fair value gap, push right back up after. It's heading towards 80,000 and above. Keep an eye on this one. Don't go mental on this, but make sure, you keep an eye on this one. Pound Oz also has gone to the upside again. This is not done yet. This need to give me that one more push to the upside. 203 is where I'm expecting the bigger pullback here. Until then, anytime market is going to come back down here, it's going to be just a pullback to complete this messy structure for a push to the upside. So wait for all the yen alternatives to drop this week first. Once market has done that, then you look for a buy short term, but making sure that you do not go thinking that they have to go and tap these targets. These targets should be in your mind, but whenever you're in profit, take some partials, put it to break even. If market takes you out, look for another opportunity until market taps that level. Okay. Euro New Zealand, as I've shown you, Euro New Zealand was what we were expecting. Market to break down, push right back up. Market to do that. I was expecting it to actually tap 177 level and above and give me a reaction there. Instead, it decided to actually give us this messy structure and then broke to the downside just 20 pips shy from the level and then broke down further. It has some more downside. It is going to give us some pullback here, probably this week. Early part, we might be able to see some pullback. This pullback might actually look something slightly hard, something like this here. And then after that, a break to the downside further will follow. It's not done yet. It is heading to go and breaking this bottom eventually. But what we need to do is we need to wait for this to pull back first. Once market has given us this pullback, you can join this journey back again, and it probably would keep on dropping because remember, this structure has changed slightly to a slightly bigger consolidation, and this bigger consolidation have a potential to even test this bottom as well. Okay. So this will become a slightly bigger consolidation here like that before it goes back up. US30 was expected to tap 39,000 and then give us a reaction. Market did tap 39 and then gave us this reaction to the downside. This reaction to the downside still has a potential to go right back up. To me, this is still a part of a consolidation here. Even if market comes back down, it will still be pushing right back up to test these two tops here this week. Right, that was the YouTube list. Let's have a look at the indices before we head over to the other pairs.